in a conference game. Hello, everybody. This is Bob Waller at Thornridge High School, and we have a day like you would not believe. The sport of football was invented to give the people a game to play on an autumn day like this. We have a fine game, too. Taylor Bell, the sports editor of the Sun-Times, is here with me to bring you this conference match and just a brief idea of what we can look at.
Homewood Flossmoor is running out of a triple option, but they changed last week after losing their first two games. They scrapped their old wishbone and went to an I formation, so we're going to see something like an Oklahoma offense with one of the best quarterbacks in the state and Scott Krasinski running that triple option.
Before we recorded this, we had a chance to talk with Wayne Lunak, the head coach of the Falcons, and here's what happened.
Thank you, Bob. I'm with Thornridge coach Wayne Lunak, and coach, 2 weeks ago your team gave a great account of itself against Hinsdale South, the top-rated team in the Chicago area. That had to be a great confidence booster for your team going into this conference season.
Well, we thought we played pretty well. We made mistakes. I think we could have won the game, not taking anything with Hinsdale South. We took some things away from them, and they came right back, threw the ball, and did what they had to do. They were a very fine team, and we were pleased with what we did that day. We didn't know if we could stay in there with them with their size and with their skilled players, but it did give us some confidence, I think.
Well, you were so impressive that the coaches in the conference tapped you as the preseason favorite now, and today you're playing Homewood Flossmoor, which was the preseason favorite. You've got a little bit of a problem this week because Homewood has changed their offense. They're still running a triple option, but they're now running it out of an I instead of a wishbone, and you've got a young man, one of the best quarterbacks in the state, Scott Krasinski, to deal with. How do you make your adjustments?
Well, the eye gives us more problems because it spreads out their people more, and the wishbone is not a limiting attack, but now he can do more things. We've got to just adjust our defenses. I'm not one to believe that you can just put in a brand new defense, and our big effort today will try to stop their quarterback. He is probably one of the premier players in the conference.
Your son Greg is an outstanding player at Thornton Fractional North, one of those father-son relationships. That has to be quite a thrill for you.
Well, it is. You know, I'm in this business, and you like to see your son sort of follow you a little bit, and I've got to see all of his games. I won't see his game against Hillcrest today, but I've enjoyed him just like a fan. It's somewhat different than being a coach, and I've enjoyed it, and I'm sure he's enjoyed the season so far.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you today. And now with Bob Waller, we'll talk about the stars of today's game.
Okay, Taylor, we do have several strong individuals who will be performing here. And for the Falcons, Jerry Allen anchors their defense. And Taylor, for Allen, he's got to look at that wishbone.
That's right, and they're going to have to try and contain Krasinski. Krasinski's going to be going up and down that line of scrimmage, and Coach Wayne Lunak says the big thing is to try and keep him on the line of scrimmage as long as they can and bring those cornerbacks and get some help up there. And Allen's big job is to try and contain that and keep Krasinski from pitching out to Joe Altman, the tailback, sweeping around in.
And when the Falcons have the ball, they have a pretty rugged customer in their backfield, Kevin Healy, their fullback.
Healy is just an outstanding runner, and we're going to see a lot of him running on the left side of the line behind Buchanan and behind Slikowski. They're strong blockers. He's also a fine punter, just a really outstanding athlete, a great baseball player. Homewood knows they have to stop him to stop the Thornridge offense.
The Vikings from Homewood Flossmoor led offensively by a man who we've alluded to here, Scott Krasinski, who happens to be the son of their head coach and one of the top quarterbacks in the state.
Well, he's running the triple option. He's averaging 8 yards a carry. Last week he averaged over 10 yards a carry against Bloom Trail. He's a tremendous runner. He's a left-hander. He also throws the ball. I think Homewood, on a day like this, would have designs on trying to throw the ball, open up Thornridge defense a little, but he's averaging 8 yards a carry, and he has to be stopped.
Kind of a big hot story, too, a man who is developing into quite a player and has several years ahead of him, and that's Jeff Martin.
Well, he's a sophomore linebacker, number 74, and Coach Tom Krasinski thinks he's the best sophomore he's ever coached. Last week against Bloom Trail, he blocked a punt, recovered a fumble, had an interception, had 7 tackles, just did everything but sell tickets. He's a tremendous young man with 2 years ahead of him, and defensively, the linebackers and Martin are the people that have to stop that Thornridge offense.
So we have some outstanding individual performers, 2 well-coached teams, and it should be a heck of a ball game. We're ready now for the opening kickoff in just a moment.
All other SICA scores on the scoreboard show on WLNR tonight at 8:10. Thank you.
How do you double your television enjoyment? Get HBO and Cinemax in September. It's the perfect double feature for choice entertainment on TV. With Cinemax, you get movies 24 hours a day with first-rate chills in Motel Hell. Plus comedies, classics, kids and family films, too. Add all this to HBO and you get 2 kinds of movies on 2 separate channels almost every hour. HBO and Cinemax, the perfect double feature in September.
We've already had the toss of the coin. Homewood Flossmoor, the Vikings, the visiting team, won the toss. They're about to come onto the field. As you look at the officiating crew, the man in the white hat, the referee, John Kavanaugh of Chicago. Gordon Seidel of Blue Island is the umpire. The head linesman will be Al Jeske of Tinley Park, and Tom Hopkins of Chicago will be the field judge. Homewood Flossmoor, as we said, won the toss. There is the Viking squad in white with red helmets. They elected to receive, and Thornridge, the Falcons, who will be wearing blue, they're the home team here today, took the wind. There's a light breeze that will be blowing from the right to the left of your screen, coming right out of the area where the Viking ball club just came. You see the flag is hanging rather limply, but every now and then that breeze does pick up. And now here come the Thornridge Falcons, who have lost only 1 game, and that was a game to the #1 ranked team in the area, the Hinsdale South Hornets. And there's head coach Wayne Lunak. And Taylor, this is the first conference game for both of them, and perhaps the winner would go ahead to be the favorite in the conference.
Well, there's no question that both coaches and a lot of coaches in the conference, the consensus was that this might be the conference, this game might settle the conference championship. Interestingly enough, in the preseason, Homewood was rated as the season favorite to win the Seca North Conference, but after the first 2 games, first 2 non-conference games, Homewood lost them both. Thornwood gave a very impressive performance, as we mentioned, against Hinsdale, then shut out Bloom last week 23-0, and the coaches reevaluated everything and said, well, now we think Thornridge is the favorite. So this is a big game for both teams. You can't afford a loss in the conference at all and hope to keep your hopes alive for a state playoff berth. So both teams are really jacked up for this game, and it should be everything that we anticipated before the season began.
Both teams are coming off victories last week. Wayne Lunak, as we look into the huddle of the Thornridge Falcons, said his team was a little flat. Let's see if we can pick up as Coach Wayne Lunak gets into his huddle and see what he's got to say to his guys.
Let's go. Kick the steering ball deep and strong. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go! All right. Well, they're ready. Deep for Homewood Flossmoor is their tailback, number 26, Joe Altman. One of the upmen is 21, Adam Havens, and 33, Don Garrettson. They're the deep men, 26, a man in the middle. Back deepest is Joe Altman. He's the one they want to get the football.
Joe Altman we're going to hear a lot about him today. He is the son of George Altman, the former Chicago Cub first baseman. Joe, this is his first year out for football. He's an outstanding baseball and basketball player. He is a senior.
Kevin Healy has his hand up. He's ready to put the ball in play, and we're ready to go with this ball game. Here's Healy, and the kick is going deep towards number 21, Havens. He's got a little seam, but is hit there by number 64, the man on the first hit, Dwight Childress, a senior. And the ball will be spotted at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Vikings from Homewood Flossmoor. They were beaten in their first 2 games and then rallied to win.
Watch number 15, Krasinski. He's running the triple option. He's the man to watch, the man the Thornridge defense has to concentrate on. He'll read the tackle, he'll read the end, he'll hand to the fullback, Keeklek, or he'll pitch out to Altman or carry it himself.
Altman is the tailback. It goes to Keeklek, the fullback, and he picks up about 4 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 6 yards. Norman Russell, number 70, made the stop, and he is starting for an injured player, Steve Bost.
Bost injured a knee last week, the only starter in the lineup out today. Russell was a former nose guard. He's a real tough player, and Wayne Lunak has no qualms about sending him in a tough game like this at a very tough assignment.
We have an official's timeout in an equipment matter. Number 75, Jerry Allen, comes running off. He's got a string of tape or something that's trailing off. Well, and Childress goes in.
We just saw phase one of the triple option, the handoff to the fullback. Phase two, of course, is the pitch to 26, Altman, the
Garrettson is wide right, and it's pitched back to Altman. He gets around the corner. There's trouble. He's all the way to the 40, the 30, and is tackled inside the 30-yard line by number 21, Timothy Branch. A big gainer off that triple option. It's first down.
Well, that's the one that we were just talking about. Krasinski reads the tackle, then reads the end. Here's Krasinski, reads the tackle, takes it back, reads the end comes to him, he pitches out to Altman. Altman gets around the side, goes down the sideline, and finally tackled from behind.
Defensively, you want to try and force the issue and keep containment. Keeklak, the fullback, powers ahead down to the 25-yard line. 2nd and 6 now for Homewood Flossmoor. Number 65 was John Harris in on the first hit.
And that was a 39-yard gain for Altman on the second carry. The big problem is for the defensive ends, Allen, number 75, and Studzinski, number 86, to contain that option.
Garrettson flanked out to the right, 2nd and 6 now for the Vikings. Brzezinski pitches quickly back to Altman. Altman breaks one tackle, breaks another, still on his feet. He gets about a 3-yard gain out of a play that could have been a loss, Taylor.
Well, this time, though, Thornridge really contained it well. Allen came up from his left end position and also got a lot of help from the monster number 44, Ron Johnson, who contained it well.
3rd and 3, first third down play. Altman stacked as the tailback. Keeklak gets the call, and he's going to be short of the first down. They stop the play at the 20-yard line. Well, actually the 21. Keeklak comes up short. It'll bring up a 4th down, about a yard and a half. And the first real decision here. Brzezinski has not kept the ball. He's been averaging 8 yards a carry. He's been either handing it off to the first man, Keeklak, or pitching back to Altman. The wide side of the field is to the left. See if Krasinski rolls that way. A lot of motion. The left tackle, number 66, Kevin Dewey, violated his 3-point stance. And that's going to be a costly penalty. Here's John Cavanaugh to tell you about it.
We have a dead ball foul. 66 white in the offense.
Kevin Dewey on the illegal procedure call, and from 4th and 2, now it becomes 4th and 7.
And that's a real tough break for Homewood, of course. That changes the complexion of things.
So 4th and 5, and now you need a big play here. Keep possession on the opening drive of the ball game. Krasinski on a reverse to Garrettson. Garrettson is going to be brought down. Oh, he made something out of that play, which really wasn't there, and he got up close to the first down. An excellent run by Garrettson, who was stopped behind the line of scrimmage and fought his way for the first down.
A real gutty call, and this is a reverse. Everybody's headed the other direction looking for Krasinski, but Garrettson gets around and makes this all on himself. There's no blocking, and he just works his way down that sideline. A little magic, I guess, but he gets 9 yards and a crucial first down.
Sophomore defensive end Studzinski had a chance to stop that play in the backfield. Keeklak picks up a couple right over the zone left side behind Kevin Dewey and Dave Cesario. Going to be 2nd down and 7.
Well, the entire Thornridge defense is geared to stop Krasinski, and here in the opening drive, we see that Tom Krasinski, the Homewood coach, has anticipated that. He's trying to break Keeklak up the middle, and he's also trying to get Altman outside. He's just trying to open things up so that the quarterback can find some running room later on.
Garrettson wide right, Wardell wide left. Krasinski has it now, pitches out, and Altman did well to keep the ball in possession of Homewood Flossmoor. And Taylor, that's one of the problems with this type of offense. You tend to turn the ball over.
No question. In the first three games, 2 interceptions, 5 fumbles for Homewood. An excellent play here by the sophomore, Studzinski, number 86. Wayne Lunak was a little worried that Homewood would try to work the right side of his defense. Stasinski, a sophomore, Blasingame, one of the cornerbacks, a junior. Some of the inexperience there trying to run away from their strength. Allen and Johnson on the left side, but Stasinski came up and made the play.
Both wide receivers to the right, and Krasinski sprints right out looking for his man in the end zone. It is broken up by Timothy Branch. Intended for Jeff Fingert, the tight end, the only eligible receiver on the left side. They flooded the right side and threw to the left, but it was Brandt on the...
Here's Krasinski, a left-hander, rolling left, getting outside of Allen, but fine defensive play by Tim Branch, and the receiver almost came up with that. Branch tipped it, and the receiver just stretched but couldn't quite get there.
So it'll be fourth down.
Again.
They converted on the last fourth down thanks to Don Garrettson's fine run on the reverse. Krasinski taking a little time in the huddle, making the call. So it's 4th and 8 at the 15. Krasinski rolls to his right, looks back, the left-hander throws, he's got a man in there. Garrettson with a dive out of the end zone, incomplete. Garrettson can't believe it. Don Garretson with a circus catch.
Well, it was a tremendous catch, but it was obvious he was out of the end zone when he made the diving reception of that. But he was led perfectly, just a little too well by Krasinski on that play. Let's look at it again. 4th and 8. Krasinski goes for everything, looking for Garrettson downfield. Rolling right, throws left. But Garrettson makes the dive, but he's out of the end zone. He doesn't think so, but the official had a much better look at the play.
Good news, bad news for Garrettson. Good news, you made the catch. Bad news, you're out of the end zone. So Thornridge takes over, and a pitch back to number 42, James Wright, their tailback. Trying to get a little room for comfort. This drive starting on their own 15. He picked up 3. 2nd and 7.
Jamie Wright gained 107 yards last week, so this Thornridge offense is very versatile. They've got Healy running power off the left side behind Buchanan and Slokowski, the two fine blockers, and Wright has the speed to go outside.
Steve Rudnick, the quarterback, James Wright, the tailback, Kevin Healy, number 34, is the up back. And it goes, keeping it is the quarterback. He's trying to hit Healy and overthrows Healy on the play action pass. Rudnick is now came into the game with 21 completions in 40 attempts. That's his first pass. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
Homewood has a gambling defense. You'll see 3, it's actually a 52, but they have 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. The linebackers are the key. Mike McKenna, Jim Torkelson, Larry Farkos, Jeff Martin. They like to blitz 1 or 2 of those linebackers, and they'll also blitz the strong safety Steve Lesak, number 23 on occasion. They like to put that offense in big trouble.
Here comes Wright around his own left side, and he'll be pulled down there. Number 17 closing the play off was the corner man, Rich Taylor. Also in there was Mike McKenna, a linebacker.
Here's a pitch to Wright. He's trying to get outside. There's the blocking by Buchanan and Slokowski, but McKenna comes up to make the play. Number 88.
Brings up a punting situation here, 4th and 7. See who is dropped back. Number 26, the tailback, Joe Altman, is back for Healy's kick. Healy has a little breeze at his back that now picks up rather substantially. High snap, he just gets it away. It was almost blocked. It's a boomer, hits on the 33, turns over for him. Look at this. That's the 10, inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And there's a turnaround on a punt from the 24-yard line of the Falcons.
69-yard punt on that by my calculation, but that's close.
Well, I tell you, he did have a breeze behind it, but he got the good roll. He had it turned over for him.
He's averaging 35 yards per punt for the season, but that's certainly going to help his average.
Yeah, that doubles his average right there. So next time he has to punt, he doesn't have to. Got twice the yardage on a normal punt that time. So trouble here for Homewood's Vikings. Scott Krasinski, the quarterback, sets his club. Standing just about in the end zone is Altman. And Krasinski pitches it to Altman. He's out of bounds across the 10 at the 12-yard line. Timothy Branch was one of the men there, and Paul Schaeflin Number 13, the safety, closed on it.
Well, it's obvious Thornridge is gearing for number 15, Krasinski. That's their main situation, to stop him at all costs, keep him on the line of scrimmage. So HF is trying to go the other way, pitch to the deep back and get around that defense.
2nd and 5, and by my recollection, Krasinski is yet to keep the ball.
Hasn't yet.
Look, Keyclack gets up to about the 15. Herbert Davis, a junior, number 72, getting up off the bottom of the pile after the tackle, so it'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Keyclack's an interesting story. This is also his first year at fullback. He was a guard for 3 years and came out was switched to fullback this year when the other regular fullback decided to concentrate on baseball.
Timeout taken here by Homewood Flossmoor. They came out 3rd and short. They didn't like the defense. So one Krasinski, Scott is going to talk to his father, Tom, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Showtime, America's total entertainment network, presents blockbuster movies 24 hours a day. There's high-flying adventure, uncut and commercial-free.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
The brightest stars shine all the time. Total entertainment is Broadway, from rousing musicals to powerful dramas. Sit in the front row for live concerts. Showtime's got the big stars. There's something for everyone, from offbeat comedy to family fun. For total entertainment 24 hours a day, call your cable TV system now for Showtime.
Scott Krasinski, faced with a 3rd and 2, went over to talk to a head coach. His father, Tom Krasinski, is his 6th year as head coach at Homewood Flossmoor, 17 years at the school, so you'd say he's well acquainted with that program.
Well, and he's really done a real fine job in the time that he has been there, and he feels this is his best team. He just can't understand why they're 1 and 2 at this particular point, and they're trying to do something about that right now.
3rd and 2, they've yet to convert on a 3rd down play. Krasinski tried to keep the ball that time, but he was smothered by William Studzinski. So the first punt of the afternoon for the Vikings is Krasinski's first carry, dies a boarding. 4th and 2. Got 4 minutes and change left here in the first quarter of play. This kick is not one you want to write home about. It's down on the 32-yard line, and the punter, Mike McKenna, not happy with that.
And it was almost blocked by number 60, the middle guard, Ron Serbone, on that play, just almost blocked.
Steve Rudnick, the quarterback. Anderson, Childress, Olson, Armstrong, and Buchanan, that front wall in front of him. Center Olson over the ball, and Steve Rudnick sets his team. They sprint into the eye. Wright is the tailback. And the fullback, Healy, with his first carry, he gets inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
This is the kind of thing that Thornridge likes to do. They flip-flop their big blockers. Slakowski, number 84, the tight end, number 79, Buchanan, the left tackle, Armstrong, the left guard, 69, like to run Healy up behind him. Sometimes they'll bring Johnson, the big 200-pound wingback. They'll bring him into the fullback, put Healy deep back, and add some extra blocking.
Ronnie Johnson, number 44, sets into the slot there. He's quite an athlete. Rudnick gives it to Healy, and the big fullback powers through a hole and up close to a first down. It will depend on where they spot the ball. Spot the ball just about at the first down marker. And we're going to have a measurement. Let's take a look at Kevin's work.
Right up the middle. Fine blocking, trap block by Chuck Armstrong, number 69. Makes a good block. Healy up there right close, about a 6-yard gain, right up for the first down. Close enough to measure.
I wonder if it'd be possible to look at that again, because you mentioned 69. Watch Chuck Armstrong, the offside guard, as he pulls and leads the interference. Pay attention to 69, and we'll see if we got time. Just watch the start of this and watch the offside guard pull, and he will blast through there and make way for Healy. It allowed them to pick up the first down. All right, let's get back to the action here. Good camera work. And Wright is hit, bounces off one man, is still on his feet, and is finally buried by Todd Sheffers. But a nice run by James Wright, the senior tailback, who was averaging 4.7 yards a carry when the day began.
And that was a case of that blitz, and they still made some of it. But McKenna was coming on that. Here comes the blitz. Dewey and McKenna, they both hit him, but he breaks away. Little 5'4", 130 pounds. Who says there isn't room for a little guy in football? And he makes something out of nothing.
2nd and 6. And Healy hit by 88 McKenna and 85 Mike Bassett.
Pick up a speed, making a 3rd and 3.
Got a 3rd down and 3 yards to go at the 16-yard line. Beautiful autumn day. If you looked up autumn weather in the dictionary, they'd have a picture of this day right next to it. A short punt by Homewood Flossmoor set up this drive. It's now 3rd and 3. And they bring in Johnson, but go the other way. Wright has got the 1st down to the 9-yard line. Jamie Wright went around the left. The rest of the flow went towards the right. 1st down for the Falcons. And they're inside the 10. They will not be able to make a 1st down without scoring a touchdown.
Well, they're doing about the same thing that Homewood does. They're trying to get their speed outside, figuring that the defense is looking for Healy coming up the middle.
1st and goal. Johnson, the big wingback, number 44, is in on the power formation. He leads the blocking for Healy, who gets stood up and picks up about 1.5 yards, 2 yards.
Well, that's what Thornridge likes to do on short yardage. Bring Johnson, the big monster man on defense, the big wingback, bring him into the fullback spot, move Healy back to the deep back, give him an extra blocker, and run behind Buchanan, Slikowski, Armstrong in those short yardage situations.
The Vikings have beefed up their defense. We got 71, Dave Cesario, 6'3", 220 in there. He was in on the last tackle. They go into their goal line defense, 2nd and 7. And Wright is hit, spins away, and is finally stopped short of the 5-yard line. Hit in the backfield
Stop made by number 68.
by Larry Farkos, number 68. He spun away from Farkos and picked up a couple more yards.
Well, Homewood's a gambling defense, and here they come. That's Torkelson, 76, breaking up the play right there, but Wright spins away and finally stopped. Number 68, Farkos, the leading tackler for the Homewood team, finally stops him.
3rd and 6. Marlon Talon is flanked out to the right and looking for Talon. Talon's in the end zone. The pass is too long. Steve Rudnick overthrew Marlon Talon, who has caught 6 passes for an average of 22 yards per play.
And we're going to have a field goal attempt here with number 20, Tony LaValle. Here's the pass. Rudnick, who had 158 yards passing in his first game, he's got Talley back there, but overshoots him. Had him in the corner of the end zone, but not quite.
Here's an interesting story here on the place kicker, LaValle, that you chronicled quite well in the Sun-Times, Taylor.
Tony was born with short arms. This is his 2nd field goal attempt. He made one last week.
And he's got a pretty good shot. It is no good. It was long enough, but it faded off to the side. So a 24-yard field goal attempt is no good, and both teams have driven down deep into the other's territory only to come up with no points. And that's what we have with 7 seconds left. There is no score here in the 1st quarter. And the ball should come out to the 20, I do believe, shouldn't it?
In high school, yes.
Well, they're not marking it at the 20, it's at the 15. That's why I asked.
No, the one official is now pointing out that they've miscalculated. They're moving it up now.
I thought maybe they changed rules.
Well, I don't think anything happened in the past week to do that, so I'm glad they got it straightened out.
You don't know unless you ask. So 1st down on the 20 for Homewood Flossmoor. Krasinski has 2 wide receivers out to the right, gives the pitch out to the tailback, and about a 7-yard gain for Altman.
Well, so far this has been the most effective play for Homewood. The pitch to Altman, the speed back, an outstanding athlete.
That's the end of the first quarter, so they'll have to tromp down to the other end of the field. While we do that, we'll pause briefly with the score. Homewood Flossmoor's Vikings 0 and Thornridge Falcons 0.
How do investigators determine cause in suspicious fires? What can you do to protect your home against fire loss? That's what I'll be talking about on this week's Community Close-Up, the fire problem. We'll also learn techniques preschool teachers use in fire safety education. Join me on Community News Channel 3, Monday at 6:30 p.m., Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 4:30.
Second down, 2 yards to go. And the Vikings are ready to go. Last week in their game, which they won, they ran the ball 41 of their 50 offensive plays. They've only thrown a couple of passes here. Both have been incomplete. And the first man through, number 48, Brad Taylor, just into the ball game. 5'11", 190 pounds. He's a senior. And he picked up the first down, moving across the 30 to the 32.